The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hello, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. That's one word. Or you call us at 973-240-8593 and we could answer any questions you may have. Or you could email us from our website, again, for any questions you may have or you want anything discussed on this radio show. For first-time listeners, my company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash, we purchase apartment buildings, we do joint ventures with other real estate investors, we loan money for rehabs, and provide transactional and gap funding as well. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single-family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate, and we're very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not a real estate agent, and we're not a brokerage, but I have individuals on staff that are agents that could sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service. This show is going to go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of our investments, what went well, and what did not, and especially how we learned from them. We'll talk about the economy and interest rates. We'll discuss trends in the real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important you know as much as possible about it. I will provide you with my opinion. It's only my opinion. I ask everyone to do a lot of research to ensure that you're comfortable with whatever service you're getting. You know, that's one of the biggest things. I think also, as I've said so many times before, you got to ask lots of questions, because if someone gives you a referral, again, they might feel comfortable with one thing, but you might not. You might be very stickler on certain things, whereas the other person will say, it's not a big deal. So, you know, it's very important that you understand that. And that's one of the good things about a recommendation. You could ask some of those questions, and hopefully they'll be honest with you, not because they're going to try to deceive you, but sometimes people will gloss things over and not really look at it in the true, in true light. So that's kind of really very important. So, please beware of that. I'm going to do a shout out to a few of my listeners. Paulette, which is a famous crossing guard in Livingston. Hello, Paulette. And Tim from Cedar Grove. And also, I want to say hi to Steve and Janice. Hey guys, how are you? And thanks for joining and listening. And thanks for all your positive comments. Also, again, private investors, if you're interested in investing, please give me a call. We're going to be doing something probably in the next few weeks. So it'll be in my office. We moved to Parsippany, and we'll do it in the conference room. And I'm going to just explain to you, if you ever want to be teaming up with any real estate investor, I'll tell you and show you the things that you need to look out for, and what you should be comfortable with, what you should not be comfortable with, and I think you'll gain a lot of knowledge in terms of the investing side, and how we make money and how an investor would make money safely. So please give me a call on that also, but I'll be probably changing some of my radio ads to have these discussions. As always, we could have these discussions anytime. You just give me a call, and I'd be more than happy to set up some type of in-person or Zoom call with you to discuss that. That's one of the good things is that now everyone's Zoom literate, I guess, as you might say, or Zoom competent, or semi-competent at least. And we could always do a remote Zoom call, so that's good. But I always prefer in person. I think it's just we've been away too long from people, and it's really great to start interacting again. I was thinking about COVID for a few things and its impact. So even in like the restaurant industry here is still not back where it was once, pre-COVID. I go to different restaurants. There's one place in Nutley, Ralph's Pizzeria. I love the place. I was brought up in Nutley, and they have super great pizza. They're always, rated very high in New Jersey Monthly, but they're still not taking in diners to sit down. And I was very stunned. So I know the owner there. I didn't have a chance to talk to him about it because I was going to stop by and eat, and I was taken back by it. But I got to talk to him on that because I can't believe it. And then the other day it was late in the evening, and I wanted to stop off at Rut's Hut, which is one of my old joints I always used to go to, and I got there about 10:30 and it was closed, or 10 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock and it was closed. And that place used to close on the weekend like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I looked on the sign and it was like 8 o'clock. And it's just, some of these places are, for whatever reason, I don't know why, not putting in their old hours or continue with certain services. Now, Ralph's, I was talking to someone on it and they said, well, maybe it's being basically the takeout is taking over, but they had really good takeout and they were super busy on that side, but they were also busy on the dining side. So I can't believe that they're making up for it in other ways. I really can't. And I think also they had catering in the back room, which I question whether they're even having that. So, things aren't as good as they used to be, and I think that's going to eventually have fallout in a number of ways. The other thing I was thinking about is I was walking into ShopRite the other day, and I was thinking about not, I'll have to wear a mask, and just, the blessings we have for things that we don't always appreciate, like, just breathing fresh air or semi fresh air, we'll say. And, all those blessings we have, the ability for most of us to be able to walk, or maybe walk with a little bit of pain, but, hearing, seeing, all those things that we sometimes take for granted. So, I was just thinking about that and how, during COVID, you had your masks and you always were free to breathe air in, and you had people dying on ventilators. It was just, horrendous. So I think we have to continue to try to count all the blessings we have. And that when I was thinking about that the day after, I was at church, and the priest was talking about the different blessings we have, and that's the thing. We don't always think about that. He's a really good priest, and he's always very thoughtful. So he just says, why don't you think about all the blessings you have that you don't realize you have, and that's exactly it. And we have lots of blessings, and sometimes we take it for granted, unfortunately. So one of the things I'd like to talk about is taxes. So, there was a couple of articles that came up, and I've been talking about this a little bit previously, but I want to bring it up again because I think it's really, really important. And I think if you have a business, that you need to plan, especially now, accordingly for potential getting hit with taxes if you have passed away and you have a business and you're passing it on to a family member, because the current administration is really wanting to tax a lot of people, and it could really hurt um, a lot of people. There was a analysis from it's called Tax Foundation on Wednesday, and it warned about taxing on the capital gains at death, and that could potentially hit a lot of small family owned businesses. And that's what I've talked about, and you really got to worry about it, because like under the current law, when a business owner dies and he transfers or she transfers the business to an heir, the individual does not incur any additional capital gains or tax liability. Now, the only way that occurs is once the heir chooses to sell the business, they have to pay capital gains on the gain from the period that they own the property or own the business to when they were selling it, not the starting value. So you have an individual that grew the business from start, and it grew into $1 million business, whatever the case may be, and then passed it on to his heirs or her heirs. Now you would get taxed on all that, and you could potentially, you might have to liquidate your business because of that, just to pay the tax man. So this is really pretty scary in terms of that. It's going to hurt a lot of businesses, a lot of families. That's why you got to really talk to your tax accountant, your tax attorney. Look about talking about trusts and things like that to really protect your business and the outcome of it afterwards. So, really look into trusts. Those are really key things in terms of ensuring that you're not paying the government and then they could just burn your money and waste it as they always do. So I'm very negative on the government. So I'm point blank on that one. That's just ridiculous. There's so much bureaucracy within the government that it's very difficult. I have individuals I know, they're trying to get money from Social Security, and they tout on the news, and the politicians tout, we have all this money for programs, but to get the money is really the challenge. And really what they do is they just throw up a lot of bureaucracy, and you have individuals that really don't care, and they want to look at the letter of the law on how much they're not going to give you instead of how much they are going to give you. And that's really just, I don't even know what to say about it. It really is just, it's a travesty. You have individuals that need money for whatever, Social Security, disability, so on and so forth, and the government has the money, but they really don't want to give it because of the procedures they put in place, and they're always putting roadblocks. And if you're not bright enough to continue to push on it, and you have to have the iron will to continue to push on that, and no matter how much you're set back, you continue to push. So that's why I'm not into big government. And big government, all they want to do is control that. And a lot of the individuals, they just want to just look at the letter of the law and just make it difficult for you, and pull out some ridiculous piece of law or restriction and say, well, you can't get it because of this. I have tenants that need money, and they're so frustrated by it, and they have to take multiple trips down, Social Security, so on and so forth, begging to get money, and we have the money set aside. So that's it on that case. I'm going to close out this segment. Again, you could give me a call at 973-240-8593. Again, 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Thank you very much, and I'll see you shortly.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at 973-240-8593. Again, that's 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. That's one word, TEMPLAR, cashforhouses.com. Again, if you're interested in selling your house fast for cash, please give us a call. We'll come in, we'll look everything over, we'll provide you with a quote in terms of what we would purchase the house for, an offer. And then if we come to an agreement, you could set the closing date. So it's very easy, clean, and simple. We buy houses, single family houses, 2 families, 3 families, 4 families. We do all those, as well as condominiums, townhomes. So anything in Jersey, we will buy. If it's outside Jersey, we could still possibly buy it. I have a number of investors throughout the country that I work with. So please give me a call. I had one woman that contacted me a few weeks ago, and she was selling a home in Connecticut. And I hooked her up with an investor I know in Connecticut that is a very, very good investor. You know, A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau, so on and so forth. Really great reviews. Really great guy. But please give me a call. It doesn't matter, really. Almost every single state I know of someone from my groups that I work with. So I belong to a mastermind, and it's a group of about 150 of the top flippers, investors in the country. We get together on a quarterly basis, and we, hash out what our challenges are, what new emerging trends there are, new technology we use for the business, so on and so forth. So it's good. Also, I get a good pulse on what's going on throughout the country. So, how our house is selling in Vegas compared to California, San Francisco area, as opposed to Arizona, Texas, whatever the case may be. So, out of 150 investors, we have, a lot of investors in different states. There's a couple states that we don't have investors, but most of the states we do, everywhere from, or they're investing in. Even if they don't live there, they're investing in there, from Arkansas to Mississippi, all the different states. I don't think there's anyone right now in Rhode Island or Delaware. Those 2 states, I know that. And Alaska also. But Montana, Idaho, almost all the states. So if you need anything, please give me a call on that. Again, we are looking for apartment buildings, preferably 50 plus units. Doesn't matter really what state, excluding California and New York. So, we prefer, Ohio, do Texas. We love Texas, Oklahoma, Idaho, any of those. So please give us a call. I'll provide you a finder's fee. We're very discreet, so we won't blab if you don't want it blabbed. So, you know, please give us a call on that as well. One of the things also I brought up a few times, I'm going to bring it up again. I was reading something on it which was kind of disturbing about uh, half of the Bitcoin IRAs. So the individuals that are investing in Bitcoin and IRAs, uh, almost 50% is for people that are 50 and above, 55 and above. And that's kind of a little disconcerting, to say the least. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Anything with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is very speculative. If you're putting your money in these things to catch up or to hedge on inflation or whatever the case may be, whatever technique or approach you're doing, and you're banking on this money for retirement, I would really persuade you not to do that. It could go down very, very quickly. And as I said last week, the governments are starting to really push this hard and kick in terms of they'll do their own cryptocurrency, but they're only going to allow this for so long. And it might be a different flavor, and maybe they'll let it go. Who knows? But there's a good chance there's going to be regulations associated with it, and as a result of that, it's not going to be the big swings like you previously saw. One of the things that the government, and rightfully so, has issue with any type of crypto is money laundering, and we all know that the government wants their stake and they want their money and they want to make sure there's no illegal activity, and that's where there's money laundering. But there's also tax evasion type things, so they're always concerned about those things and they want their money. So I don't think it's going to be in the form that they currently have. Who knows? I don't know on that, but a lot of the major governments want to establish their own cryptocurrency or something close to that. So just beware of that, and keep an eye on it, please, please. Also, inflation surged in June at its fastest pace in 13 years. I've been talking about that as well. So these are all the things that are going to impact or could potentially impact real estate. Between inflation and between individuals that want to speculate, and you don't know where the stock market's going to be. I think we got to run till at least this year, but who knows next year with inflation kicking in. You don't know where the market's going. The other thing you have to worry about with inflation is everybody talks about, or a lot of people talk about, well, previously inflation, the certain asset class moved a certain way as opposed to this. Please don't always put your faith in what happened in the past, because the past is the past on certain things, and there's other dynamics that are involved right now, governments and things like that, in terms of when they're printing money, not printing money, so on and so forth. So it's not a slam dunk that if inflation goes up, this asset class is going to go up, or it's going to go down, or real estate's going to rise. That's great, so on and so forth. Just be wary that, again, you got to look very carefully and continue to look, not after inflation has gone up, and then you have to look back and say, well, we should have looked back then, and we could have known that this is the way it's going to be. So we're always looking at those types of things. We're always looking at where gold is moving, where the futures are in terms of gold and stocks and things like that. So we're keeping a pulse on it to ensure that we're in a good position if inflation goes up, and that's the big thing. So you got to worry about it if you have a variable mortgage, and they were so low that if I know some people that went into variable mortgages, but interest rate mortgages, but a lot did not, and that's good. But you could really get take a bath based on that. So please watch that. Consumer price index increased 5.4% from a year earlier, and it's the largest jump since August of 2008. And that was right just before the financial crisis. Now, I'm not saying we're going to have a financial crisis, but who knows what all the spending that's going on. Individuals or companies are having a problem hiring people. That's one of the biggest challenges there is right now. And I'm part of another group. So, one of the things is always education when you own a business. And, I go to different masterminds and different groups where I'm working with individuals in the industries and also outside the industry. So you want to be inside the industries and get feedback in terms of what's going on in that specific industry. But on the flip side, I have another group, it's called Vistage, where it's a group of CEOs from a lot of different types of companies. And again, they have a different perspective, and it's good to hear that too, because you don't always want to be locked into where the herd is going or where. So when we talk to these individuals, and it's throughout the industries, is that there's a number of things that are consistent in terms of CEOs' challenges. And like I said, this group from Vistage that I get together once a month on is, everything from individuals, this one woman, she owns Outbound Nursing. So she's doing like $20 million in sales. I have another one that is fintech, financial technology. So it's all based on computer systems and, investments, and it's an investment bank. I have one that he's a recruiter. He owns a recruiting firm. He has like 9 locations throughout the country. A construction company that's doing $70 million in sales. And they all say the same thing, and they all have the same issues based on their growth. And we're accelerating, considerably ourselves. And as I've said before, we have a lot of lines of credit. We have 2 sets of like a little over $2 million each on lines of credit. So we have like $4 million on this one group of lines of credit. We have some other lines of credit as well. But one of the things is a high growth company is insatiable hunger for more investments or more money for investing in doing stuff. It's just that simple. So all these companies, they're growing very fast. We're growing fast, and we still continue to want more money. Anyone that says they have enough money, or that means they're not growing that fast, or they don't have as many deals or services or revenue as they're touting. Remember that. All these companies that grow fast continually need lots of money. And anyone that says they just have lots of money is not the case. unless they're not growing as quick and, they want to grow at a smaller or slower rate. But we're always looking for, and the companies that I talk to are always looking for more investors. It's that simple. It really is. So I got to close out today, and thank you very much for listening. Again, you can reach us at 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Remember, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We have a lot of happy clients, a lot, and we're dedicated to provide the utmost in professional services to all our clients as well as to our investors. Again, thank you very much for listening to me. Take care. Have a nice weekend. God bless, and take care. Bye.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.